Hey guys, this is Masdouk, founder of TECHMA AI, where we provide CRM, data analytics, and AI automation services for businesses. You probably heard a lot of things recently in the last maybe 3 or 6 months, things about AI agent, and you are probably wondering how you can create your own AI agent and which could use your own knowledge base, your own internal data to perform action for you on your behalf. So that's what we're going to see in this video. In this video, I'm going to explain from A to Z how to create your own AI agent using Zapier. Then let's get started. So if you are new to the world of AI agents, so let me explain what is Zapier if you have never heard about Zapier before, and what is AI agent. So Zapier is an automation platform, right? Which you can use to automate things. So you can see Zapier as, an intermediary, which you could use to push data, let's say from application A to application B. As an example, you have a form on your website. Maybe that form is been built using Zoho form, and you want that whenever an information, a data is submitted through that form, you want the information to get pushed within your CRM automatically, which might be Zoho CRM, for instance. You could use Zapier as an intermediary to push that data from the form to your CRM automatically. Then, what is AI agent? Personally, I see AI agent as digital workforce. Like, instead of maybe hiring someone to do a specific task, you can build your agent, and that agent will do that task for you automatically, or maybe through a message which you send to him or to her, whatever, right? So that's what an AI agent is. It's really like a digital workforce which can perform tasks on your behalf. All right. So how do we build an actual, agent which could automate tasks within Zapier? So the first thing to do is let's go to Zapier website, right? I'm already actually on the Zapier website here, as you can see on my screen. Or if you are not there yet, just type, Zapier.com. Actually, I'm already connected to my Zapier account. So let me just go incognito and show you. Just type Zapier.com. That will bring you on the Zapier page, right? Where you can sign up. So you can create an account directly, on Zapier. And it is free. It is free to create an account. You don't have to pay for anything to create your account. Sorry. So once you create your account, it will probably redirect you to this homepage. On the left side, you will see multiple options. The one which we are interested into is agent, because we want to build AI agent. So click on agent. Okay, so once you click on agent, if you don't have any agent yet, you will be redirected to this page where you can build your first agent. All right, so let's get started by building our first agent. So create my first agent. So in order for me to probably explain clearly the process, obviously on a beginner way for anyone who just gets started to understand how to create an agent, I think we need to have a use case, right? So a typical use case, which I usually find a lot when I'm setting up CRM for my client, is client always looking for a way to avoid duplication happening within the lead module within the CRM. Because if you have a form on your website and people are submitting data, you have a lot of visits on your website and people are submitting those forms, there is a chance that there's going to be duplicate lead within your CRM. So what about if you built an agent which can handle that duplication for us without us doing anything? So the agent is taking care of deduplicating those lead information from our CRM. We can build that, right, using agent. So instead of assigning that task maybe to one of the employee of the company, you can just build an agent which is going to be taking care of that. So we need to give the agent a name. So let's go with, I already have like something written here so we can save time and make sure that like we focus on what is really technical, what is more important to understand when you are building your agent. So let's go with the duplication agent. So I'll call him or her, whatever, the duplication agent. And I will give the agent a description. So this agent, his role will be to duplicate lead for our CRM, or maybe finding those duplication and send us an email to inform us that, you know, there is a potential duplicate, right, for within our lead module. So I would say I already have a basic description here, which I can provide him. So you can say, you will be responsible of the duplicating any lead inside of my, you know, right now I say my Zoho CRM, but I think to make it easier for everyone to understand so that you don't need to subscribe to a different CRM if you don't need to. You can use Zapier environment to do everything. So we'll just say Zapier table in this case so that it is simple, which has the same phone number and email as they come. So the rule here is to identify, right, all those different lead, which has, as soon as a lead comes in, we want to see if that lead has the same email and phone number with an existing lead already within our database. In this case, the database is Zapier table. It could be HubSpot, it could be Zoho CRM, it could be Pipedrive, you know, and so on. It could be any CRM. So the same logic could get applied to any CRM out there. Then let's start from scratch to get started. So we'll bring you on this interface where you can actually chat, you know, with the agent if you want him to do something specific. In this case, when it comes to the duplication, you don't want like to every time when a lead comes in to go and ask the agent to do something. You don't want to like go through a conversational way of running the task. You want that to be automated, right? In that case, what you need to do is just go to the settings here. On the settings, you have already your name, the agent name, based on the specific task which he's going to be performing. You have the description. Then we need to provide him with a data source. You just click on data source. So the data source is where the agent will be taking the data from, right? So every time, you know, something happened, if we take this case specifically, which is the duplicating lead, if you think about it, I want to make sure that the agent is finding a lead at some specific place, right? And that place, in this case, will be Zapier table because we store the lead within the Zapier table. So I have the option to choose Zapier table here, and you have other options. You can put like a spreadsheet, you can put an Excel file, you can put a Zoom, whatever data source you want to push data from, you can use it from here. So I can just choose Zapier table in this case, right? So in this environment, I don't have a Zapier table created, so I need to create a Zapier table first. So let's go back to Zapier. Okay, I'm just going to open Zapier again here. Let's go back to Zapier. Then I have tables, which is here. Let me just move this one around to this and click Zapier table. Then I can create my first table if I don't have one. So I don't have one, that's why I'm seeing this. Then I can just click start blank. I just want to create a blank table very quickly. So we talked about the lead module, right? Or the lead section, because that's in the lead we could have duplicates. So I will call this table leads. And then I can give this table a name. So I already have something I put there. I can say contain all TECHMA lead details. Just create a table. All right. So once the table is created, I can then, obviously there is no column here yet. I can just update those column names. So I can put full name. I don't want to put first name, last name, just put full name in this case, just to be, you know, fast and quick here. Email. So you can see this is a text format. I don't want to use a text format. I want to use actual email format. So let me change this here. I can just add a new field. In this case, I will select email. So that way it could be an actual email format. Click create. Then I want the phone number as well because I want the system, the AI to check using the phone number as well. So you could just put phone and create as well. And I can delete these two because I don't need them anymore. So just click the right button on your mouse, and then you can just click delete field. And that way you can delete the actual field which we don't need, right? Now we have those 3 columns which we need: full name, email, and phone. All right, so I have now my data table created. Then let's go back to our Zapier agent interface. Then I can choose that data source. So I can say, okay, choose from Zapier table. Then I want him to find the table. So let's see. It's looking, okay, it found the table, which is called leads. Then I can select that table, can click add data source. So now I have my data source connected. And you can see here it's actually syncing the data source with the agent. And the other way usually we'll use the data source is to store knowledge base, right? Maybe you have knowledge base in Notion pages, right? You have knowledge base in Airtable, and you want the system to be able to get data, right? And understand maybe how your process works. And then the agent can really, do some automation based on how your actual process works. In that case, that's another way how you can use the actual data source. So we have an error, which is fine because there is nothing within the lead module. So that's probably the reason why it's giving us this error. So let me try to syncing that again. And let's go back here. I'm going to just add a basic information so that we can avoid that error. So let's say put my Masdouk full name here. Let's put the email. And then I can put the phone number. All right. If I go back here, data no found, I just enter a data information and data within that module. So let's refresh again. And let's sync one more time. Then we can give the agent a behavior, right? So the behavior is how we want him to perform a specific action, right? So it's like we are telling him, okay, when the new lead comes in, what do we want him to do? What is the specific steps that agent should take to complete his task, to do his work? That's what the behavior is. You can see it as different tools, which you are giving the agent. So by clicking on create behavior, you can start creating your first behavior. So you can trigger the behavior on demand. So on demand just mean you want the action to be performed. I mean, the behavior to be performed, or that tool to be executed when you send a message within the chat interface, which we saw previously. But in this case, I want this to be automated, right? I want that to happen. The trigger should be when a new data or a new lead get pushed within my Zapier table. I want this to be triggered. Then I can select this. I can search for Zapier table because that's where we want to trigger the data from. So I want to trigger the automation from. So let's see here. Okay, Zapier table, search for that. All right, so I have Zapier table, perfect. I can select it. And then I want when a new record is added, right? So I just want to base this on when a new record is added. So that will be my trigger. So it will bring me to this page. So I need to choose which table I want to base the trigger on. In case you have multiple tables, obviously you need to choose the right table. Then click save. Then you need to provide the agent an instruction. All right, so the instruction should just be something like, okay, when you get the new data, when there is a trigger, I want you to check, for instance, if there is a match, right? The email and the phone we just came in match with any existing data already there. if there's a match, I want you to perform a specific action, right? So it's just like in normal text language, you can mention exactly what you want the agent to do right here. That's what the instruction is. Obviously, you can use tool like ChatGPT, for instance, to write that instruction. You can provide ChatGPT a text and it will be able to write the instruction for you. And then you can just feed the instruction to Zapier automatically. All right. So I already have an instruction reading here. So I will just provide that to the AI here so we can move forward. So this is the instruction. So I have the instruction reading here. I say find if there's an existing data matching the new record, right? Then compare the email and phone number of the new entry with the existing record. So we want to be as clear as possible so that the agent can know what to do. So if you want to change this, you can play with the instruction to do different things. Maybe you want to delete the actual, lead when there's a duplication. Then you can also do that using the instruction. So one of the things I really like, which I think based on experience with Zapier agent, is also adding, be more specific. And to be more specific, you can just type / on your keyboard, and then you will be able to add some, specific command so that it can be very clear to the agent what to do. So in this case, I want the data, the agent to be able to find if there's any existing data. That means I can use the find data option. So we have two ways. We can use find data option and we have take action, right? So in this case, I want him to find something. So I can just choose find data. So from where? In this case, it is from my lead module. So I already have the lead as my data source. So I can just select that. Because I want him to find data from that specific data source. So if it were Zoho CRM, then I will need to find the data from the Zoho CRM, which I will have to connect as a trigger to be able to use it as well. Then here I say, okay, find if there's an existing data matching the new record, compare the email and phone number of the new entry with the existing record. Then if there's a match, draft and send an email with the details of the matching record, right? So I can be more specific if I want to change slightly. I can change it however I want. But in this case, I will just leave it to this. So this is an action, right? Because I want him, after he finds something, to trigger an action to send an email or something. All right, so I can just / again, then I can take an action. Click on the take action. So the action is related to send an email, right? So if you have Gmail or Outlook, you can choose whatever option you have here. So in this case, I want to send the email using my Gmail account. So I can just click Gmail and I can click send email, all right? I don't need to choose draft email because I already mentioned with my instruction, draft and send the email. So he will prepare itself the email and it will send it. So I can click settings to make sure that I connect it to the right Gmail. So in case you have multiple Gmail accounts, make sure that you are using the right one. So the subject of the email, obviously this is an automation system, right? An AI agent, which is advanced than just like an automation. So we don't need to tell him what to enter, right? The subject is automatically identified. The body is automatically determined by the agent. So I let the agent determine what to put there as value. The only thing I want to specify is the to, because I want to make sure that I'm the one who is receiving that message. So I'm going to change this to specific value, right? And then I want to put my own email address here. I want him to send me to this email address, right? Then CC, if I want to CC someone, maybe I want to CC the lead owner, which is pushing the data. Then I can CC that person. I can CC anyone. I can even BCC anyone if I want to, and so on. So in this case, I don't really care. I want the agent to determine everything left, and then I can just click save. So once it's saved, I think I'm good to go, right? So I have a trigger. So when a new record has been added, I have an option where the agent can find data, and then it can then send an email, trigger an automation to send an email automatically. Once that is done, just click save. And you can see it kind of generate the like the behavior name for you automatically. So lead match email notification automatically. Then I can run a test to see if this actually work and understand if the agent really understand what this tool is supposed to do. So let's click test behavior and see. Okay. So it's checking the trigger. Okay, perfect. So step one is retrieving the new record from the lead. Perfect. It's understood what we ask him to do. Perfect. Perfect, right? So he find a record which has the email and the phone. So he said we have found a matching lead record in our database because he found that information. And then he prepared an email which can be then sent to me. As you can see, this is the two specific email address I provided him with. All right, so it seems like the agent seems to understand what we are trying to do here, which is really good, right? Which is really good. But one other thing I also noticed when I built agent in Zapier is, and in particular, if you're using like something like Zapier table, where you are actually entering the data, as you can see here, right? You are actually entering the data one by one, right? So the agent could get triggered automatically as soon as a new record is being added. And we don't want that. We want to give him some delay so that we can make sure that when the data comes in, obviously it depends on how the data comes in, but when the data comes in, we want to make sure that it has some time before it kind of process, like the actual data before it's actually trigger the task for the agent. So what I would do here is I will add additional instruction, maybe saying something like when the agent, when this is triggered, make sure to wait maybe like let's say 1 minute or 30 seconds. Let's say 1 minute before moving to the next step. So I want to emphasize on this, right? So what I would do is I will add a slash, and then I want to, in this case, I want to take action because it's an actual action I want him to do. So I will find, let's say, delay functionality from Zapier, which is this one here, delay, because I want him to delay the execution of the next instruction. So I can say delay for, right? Okay, I want him to delay for a specific time. So here I said 1 minute. I can specify that within the option here. I can let the agent decide as well. That's also an option. So maybe, but if I want to be very specific, I can specify that. So let your agent generate a value for this field. So delay for, I will set the value myself here. So I can put 1 minute, which is the minimum delay. You can put, so we have a value, time delay for, so yeah, just put 1 minute here. I think that should be fine, which is the value. And this one will be the unit. So the unit could be just 1 minute, right? So I can put like, I can put 1 minute if I want to, or I already mentioned that in the instruction. I might not need to put anything here either. So you can just say, let your agent select that, which is fine. All right, so this is good. Save it. and I can save it again here. So now we have an agent, which when the automation get triggered, it will check first, right? It will delay for maybe 1 minute, depending on what the agent decide to do. And then from there, it will find if there is a match. If there's a match, then it will send an email. If there's no match, it does nothing. We haven't told him to not do nothing, but he should know that. He should be intelligent enough to do that, to understand that. So let's click save. And I can enable the behavior here because now I have a trigger and I have an action. You should always have a trigger or an action. If you don't have one of those two, you will have an error. You won't be able to enable the behavior. Okay. So it's now enabled. I have my agent ready to go. I can go to the chat here. And then, as we said, this behavior will be triggered if there's a new record being added. So right now there's no record yet. So I haven't done anything yet. So nothing has happened yet, but we can test it to make sure that it's actually working perfectly. But before that, remember, you have also the option to add multiple behavior. If you go back to the setting here, in here, I just add one behavior, but I could add another one if I would like to. I could add another behavior in this case, which is based on demand, right? Or based on another application, maybe based on Asana or based on Gmail. So whenever I put a star on Gmail, maybe I want the data to go in within Asana directly. You can do anything with this AI agent nowadays. So let's just stick to this one so you understand how that works. Same thing for the data source. You can add multiple data source as well. You have the option to do that. All right. So let's test the agent and see if it works the way it should. So first thing, let's click on new record to add a new record within the table. Then we can give it a name. So let's do this. Put support at eag.com. You can put the phone number here. All right. So let's see if this get trigger. All right, perfect. Seems like it's working. So we can see the agent just got triggered automatically. You can see here without us actually manually clicking on start a new chat for the message to appear, right? So let's see. So the conversation just created by itself, right? Automatically without us doing anything. So we can see delay by Zapier for, okay. So you can see automatically identifying 1 minute by itself. We haven't mentioned that, but the AI itself identifying, it should put minute there instead of second and so on, right? Which is very cool. Then you can kind of fetch all the record with the email and phone number from the lead table. All right. And then it compare the email and phone number of the new entry, which what we just entered, with what was in that table. All right. Which is exactly what we asked him to do. Then he's thinking. So let's wait and see what is going to be his next action. If he's going to be finding a match or no. All right, still thinking. I recommend sometimes just refresh to make sure that you are seeing the update because, Zapier agent is still new. All right. So it seems like, okay, there is an issue as we can see here. Compare email. Then he say load delay data. Perfect. So he's kind of comparing the data. Result. Oh, so he didn't understood exactly what we asked him to do. And checking the new record again. So you can see it kind of executed the action even if there is no actual match. Because this is not the same thing at all. But he kind of found a match despite there is nothing, which match with the previous email or phone number. So all we need to do is to rephrase the instruction, right? So let's go back to the settings here. and adjust the instruction here. So delay when this trigger, make sure to wait 1 minute before moving to the next step. Perfect. I think that one, he got it right. Find if there's an existing data matching. Find if there's an existing data matching the new record. Maybe what we should say is find if, if the new record, see, match the existing data, right? Compare the email and phone of the new record with all the existing record. If a match is found, we want to emphasize on this, meaning if the email and phone number of the new record match exactly. Sometimes you want to put some capital letter there, just you can emphasize on stuff. Exactly match with the existing data. Then draft and send an email with the detail of the new record. The new record, that's it. All right, so let's test it again and see this time if it's going to work or not. So we can close this, go back to the chat. This is a good error to have so that you can troubleshoot, right? You have to learn to troubleshoot also when you are building those agents. So, and obviously by troubleshooting, that means like adjusting your instruction, making sure that it's more clear, more precise for the agent to understand. All right, so let's go back here and add another item. Another record here, another line. So new record, and here I'll put it Sam Altman. Let's put Sam at openai.com, and let's put the phone number. Let's put this. All right, perfect. So let's see now if it gets executed again. So let's refresh one more time. All right, so now you have a new chat. So this is a new chat. This was the previous one. This is a new one. You can see the time difference here. So let's click on it. Let's see if you understand what we ask him to do. All right, so he's going to be doing a delay for 1 minute. Perfect. Then he's going to fetch all the record from the existing table. So let's see. Can wait and see. So it's still going. All right, so it's not done yet. You can see this is gray out, and actually the action is still going. So let's refresh again to make sure that still keep going. Okay, perfect. Okay, now it seems like it worked. So the new record email and phone do not match any existing record in the lead table. Therefore, no email need to be drafted. We haven't even asked him to not send any email if there's no match, which is perfect. That's exactly what we want. So it actually worked this time. So now let's add another record, but this time let's try to find a match and see if it will execute the action properly this time. So I'm going to add another thing here. I'll put the same information as what I have on the top. Four 189974416. Okay, so they should match with this, right? So let's see if he is able to figure it out. All right, another action just happened. Let's see if this worked this time. Delay for 1 minute, perfect. All right, let's refresh. Sometimes you have to refresh. Unfortunately, that's how Zapier has a bit of limitation. Zapier agent specifically has a bit of limitation there. I think it would be good. I mean, if Zapier is listening to this video, to consider that feedback. If you can see on live, those different action get triggered without us having to refresh every time, that would be even better. So. All right, so it seems like this time it worked. So it waited for 1 minute, then it's checked for if there is any match. All right, and then it sent the email because there is actually a match. All right, so that's why it actually sent the email. So let me see if I received the actual email. One moment here. They may have mailbox open. All right, perfect. So I received the email. It's called Zapier Automation. So it gave itself a name. I mean, I haven't put in any specific name to be used. Obviously, you can change that within the settings. So it kind of say a matching has been found, and then it send the email. Here is the, okay, this is not the one. This is actually the new one which comes in. Actually, let me make sure that I'm checking the right one here. So if found, a new record has been found that match an existing record. Here are the details of the new record. Gendo with support at AI. It seems like this is completely wrong. One more time. So let's go back here because it should have found this record, right? It should have found this one and not, let me see. He found support at AI.com. Okay, one sec, let's refresh here. So he actually sent me an email to this. So this is the email which it sent. So the body of the email is completely wrong. As you can see, it actually found like there is an actual match. He found the matching here. So he said the new record is support at AI.com. Why this is not the new record which I just added. So that means something is wrong. So it seems like it triggered, but it was not able to select the new record which has been added. Let's try one more time to see if we will be able to figure out this time. Okay, so let's click new record. Let's put Masdouk. And put the same email. Four 1-8-997-4416. Perfect. All right, let's see if this gets triggered again. Let's refresh. All right, it seems like trigger one more time. So let's go through this and see if it is able to understand what we want him to do. Okay. So far, so good. Let's refresh. Oh, wow. Now this time it didn't find anything. Seems like the table is not updating for some reason, which is probably weird because we have the data syncing, but the actual table seems to stay the same. So that way you didn't find any record matching that. So let's try to troubleshoot this one more time. So let me sync this again here. Let's probably the issue with the data source. Just keep in mind, this is still in beta mode with Zapier. So it's possible that those are potential issue they will face until, this get fully released. But I think the main goal of this video is for you to understand how you can actually build the agent within Zapier, and to understand also, how to write instruction and adjust instruction accordingly as the data as you are building it, right? So I can actually chat with the chatbot here. You can say try again, and let's see. So that way we can troubleshoot further. If he's able to understand, maybe it was an issue with the data source. Let's see. Okay, so in this case, there is no match found because it is, okay, it's trying again. Sample email. So give me 1 sec, let's double check this. So this could just be like an issue with the tables. Maybe we have a table with the same name. Let me just rename this table V2, late V2, right? And let's go back here and let's refresh this and see if it is able to, if it's actually changed. Oh, it didn't change here for some reason. So it seems like our table is not linked to the right thing. Let me just sync it back and see if it's going to change the name. Because that could be the actual issue, the data source being linked to a deleted data source. So by renaming that, you could, no, actually it's the right data source because it's properly linked to that. So let's see here, when a new record, and let's see, I'm going to refresh this also. Yeah, it's linked to the right thing. It's properly linked to the right thing. Everything seems to be correct. So the agent seems to be hallucinating. So let's try again one more time. So I'm going to just delete, all those existing record, and let's test it again one more time. Okay. So I'm going to add a new record this time. So the new record is now been added. Let's launch it. Okay, 441. So let's see. Oh, now it seems like it's finding the data, but the synchronization is not instant, as we can see here, because I delete some of those data, but it's still finding. But in this case, it's saying there is no actual match. New record email. It's saying the new record email is this, which is one more time wrong. So it's kind of hallucinating. So it's not finding the right new record, which get triggered. Interesting. So let's change the instruction one more time here. So if we go here, then we have, okay, we said find the lead. I can click on it. So we find the lead. And this one didn't get updated. So let me just update it. Find the lead based on this data source. Find if there's a new record. Find if there is a new record matching the existing data. by comparing the email. Let's write it exactly similarly in the phone of the new record with all the existing record email in phone. Sorry, one sec. Email and phone. Then if there is a match, meaning if the email and phone of the new record exactly match with one of the existing data from the same table, then draft an email, send it. Okay, so let's test it again one more time. Okay, that's good. Oh, here you go. Now it seems I find the new record which I added. And he actually find a match with the existing record. Then he put the new record data and then he sent it to automation. So the behavior seems to be working fine when you test it that way. So what I'm not sure about is why in the live environment is not working. So we'll figure it out. Let's see. Okay. So let's go back to the chat here. So we have tested it. Seems like the new instruction seems to be working fine. So let's test it again here one more time. I think the issue also seems to be like it's fetching immediately without delaying the action. Okay, I think this time it's kind of delaying now. Okay, this time it's fine. So it's finding the right information. Okay. So there's an actual match, which is good. So it seems like it's working. So now it's working fine. So I should be receiving the email, which is perfect now. All right, I received the email with the information. Oh, yeah, here you go. So it seems like it's working. So that's how you build an agent. So I think the good thing with this, having those issues is that give you a sense of you troubleshooting, and fixing and addressing any issue whenever you are encountering. When you are building those agents, you will definitely encounter issue. They will actually hallucinate sometime. So you need to be able to know how to address those issues. This is a very good example of it. So that's it for this video. So hopefully you have learned something. If you have learned something, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and also follow me on LinkedIn. And I will be trying to create a new video every week for you so you can learn how you can automate your entire business.